Boo. So, boo, everybody. This is Michelle. And a big hello across the miles, whatever you're doing. I'm over here in South Australia. Just adjusting the light here. Going to start talking about my paranormal experiences. They started when I was about 4 years old, that I can remember. So the first one I ever had was when I was 4 years old. I lived in a house with my mum, my brother, and my sister. And my sister and I shared a bedroom. She was about 6 and I was 4 years old. One night when I was sleeping, I suddenly felt very scared, and that's because I looked over to my left where there was an old-fashioned chest of drawers, and there was a very old lady there, very old. Can't really remember exactly what she looked like, but look sort of as old as a grandmother or something like that. And she was standing at the chest of drawers. She wasn't speaking to me, but I saw her there like she was real. And I was only 4, and from that time I never really slept at night in that room. Then came about 6 months ago, I started to talk to my mum about how we used to live in that house, and she was talking about how she had got that chest of drawers renovated. And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's the one where I saw the ghost." And she said, "What? You saw a ghost?" And I said, "Yeah." And I described the lady, was wearing a dress and had grey curly hair. And she said that chest of drawers had belonged to her grandmother, and that I just described her grandmother. So I don't know whether or not at that time my great grandmother was alive. I don't think so, but my mum recognised that it was her. So that was my first experience at seeing ghosts. Now, as I grew older, I felt I had the sense for things, and I remember we used to live in this flat, and I talked to my mum about it sometime later, and it was a bit weird to live there. That's all I remembered. I remember it was very weird, and she said, well, where we used to live, that used to be a morgue. I don't remember any spiritual disturbances, but I do remember just feeling weird living there. And I guess I was probably only about 1.5 then. So, yeah, it does go back in a little bit. I'm discovering within myself just my memories of these things. But anyway, as I grew older, particularly when I was about 11 or 12, I really began to notice things. One time I lived in a very old house on top of what we call Mount Lofty here. It was in the national park, and right at the top of a mountain called Mount Lofty. So there was no one living up there. It was a old house, probably about 1900s or something like that. and had a top floor with a lounge room and dining room, and the main bedroom was upstairs. But in the bottom floor, that came down from a staircase, that's where I was staying. And when I went to choose a room to live there, I walked into one particular room because we just moved in, and I just felt weird about it. So I didn't want to take that room. I said, oh no, I don't think I'm going to move in this one. So I went into another room, and I didn't feel right about that. I think it was a 4-bedroom house. So there's 3 bedrooms on the bottom floor with a staircase going straight up to a door. Anyway, I chose my room and I was happy in there, but I had this strange sensation that something or someone was living there that was not a spirit of some kind. So I named him Fred. I don't know why I named him Fred. I guess as a kid, I just wanted to labelize it so that I could feel a bit more comfortable with it, because I didn't feel comfortable. Anyway, I had a cat, a Burmese cat. This proves how animals can actually feel the presence of spirits. Dogs can feel them, cats can feel them. You get into situations where you might be sitting there and the cat or the dog starts acting strangely. Anyway, one night I was in my room, and I'd just sort of come out of my room, and I looked up to the top of the stairs where there was a door. So we had like stairs going up, and I was standing at the bottom, and there's a door there, and the cat just suddenly went like that and was sitting at the door but looking down the stairs at absolutely nothing. Well, of course, I knew that there was a spirit there, and the cat was just full on, tail out, and wow, look, like that. So that was a weird experience that I had. So I kind of had dabbled a bit in when I was about 12. We dabbled in a Ouija board as well, but I decided that that wasn't really a good thing to do, so we never did that. So from that time, anywhere that I went, where if we travelled to historic places and things like that, I would know. I would just feel. I would just know that there would be. If there was a ghost, I would know that there was one there. Trying to think of another example. You can put your comments or below, and I'll try and answer them later. And if you do like this video, then please, can you please click on the like button or subscribe? I'll just put a welcome on the bottom here. I'll type it on for you. Welcome and hi to you all. All right. Yeah, good. All right. There we go. Now, another interesting fact about me is that I guess you would call me an empath. So that means that I can, I feel what other people are feeling. I have a strange, I have a gift that if I walk past somebody on the street, sometimes I'll get a flash of what they've been doing in life. Something tragic has happened to them. I'll know that something is, and it just hits me like a brick wall. So, example, one day I was walking past someone in a railway station, and this lady I walked past, and then I just had this awful feeling that that, she'd lost a baby. And that was it's quite difficult when you start feeling the feelings that people felt at that time. Yeah. One thing I've learned along the way is in growing up is that you have to trust your own instincts, and you have to trust yourself when it comes to psychic abilities. And because it's very easy for people to try and discredit you and make you feel like less that you are, or they say, oh, I don't believe in that shit, and pardon me, stuff like that. Or they just they don't have that understanding and that feeling of knowledge that things about people. And this became more real to me when I actually saved my cousin from an awful accident that had happened, because I felt like that she shouldn't go on this show ride. So one of the things that happened to me one time was, I think it was a few years ago, and I'm just going to Google that when it happened, but it was called the, I don't know what it was called, the show, the Dragon Ride or something, right? Accident in Adelaide. We had a royal show, or we had like a fair. And we have one nearly every year. It's all cancelled now because of COVID-19. But every September in Adelaide, we have a fair called the Royal Adelaide Show. And that night there was, I think it was called the Spin Dragon. It was called the Spin Dragon. Just going to do that. Okay. Just Google that one. All right, Spin Dragon. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, the Spin Dragon ride accident. This is when it actually happened. So I think my cousin was probably about 12 then. Okay, so I'll just have a look and see when that was. But basically what happened was my auntie and me and my cousin went to this show grounds in, it says September the 2nd, 2000. And try and get a photo for you all. There's no photo. Oh. Anyway, you're all listening. Go back here. So this was a Spin Dragon. I'll just visit the Royal Show, Adelaide Show, death. So there was a death there. So there's an 8-year-old girl that was killed on this show ride. She fell to her death because she was flung off the ride because the ride came down. Okay, so on the 2nd of September, in what did I say? Oh yeah, it says a ride at the Royal Adelaide Show ploughed into the crowd in 2000. So what I'm trying to say here is that I had this incredible feeling of dread. And what we're doing, we were actually on that day. Well, it was night. It was about probably 6 o'clock at night, or 5:30 to 6 o'clock at night, and we were walking around the rides area, the show rides area, where people can do all the rides. And as we were walking around, because my cousin was still probably, how old was she then? So 86, 4. She was nearly 16. She wanted to take a ride. So she was looking at all the carnival rides, and we walked past this spin dragon, and I had this terrible feeling, this awful feeling like, no, something's wrong. I can't peg it. What is wrong? But I said to her, she wanted to go on the ride, and I said, no, please, I don't go on that one, please. We walked around quite a few times past it, and we looked at it, and we stood there, and we said, and I said, look, I don't know, something's wrong. I don't want you to go on that ride. Choose another one. So I was telling my auntie as well, and then my auntie said, okay, yeah, all right. So we encouraged my cousin not to go on the spin dragon ride. Then she went on another ride, which was fine. Then we stood back and we went and got our dinner. And we thought, we'll just stand across from the spin dragon ride on the other side. So say I was standing here, right where I am, straight across from me, about 200 meters across is the spin dragon ride. And we were sort of standing underneath this tent. We were eating our dinner. And then all of a sudden, the spin dragon show ride just came down. Bang! Like that. And everyone screamed. And I turned to my auntie and I said, see, I just felt something was wrong. I just felt something was wrong with that. And I was right. So my cousin was crying, my auntie was crying, I was crying, because we saved her life. Well, we saved her from being injured that day. Well, I saved her. And then I said to my auntie, I said, look, I can't believe, this is what happens sometimes. I just feel, I know these things. I know these things before they happen. And she said, yeah, I know. So what you got to do is to trust your own instinct. And it's because other people don't have the same feelings and they don't know that they don't have the same experience as you. So just trust your own instinct and just keep going with that. So that was my story of how I saved my cousin from this catastrophic accident that happened at the Royal Adelaide Show or Carnival, and where this 8-year-old girl was killed. So, as we were standing there and that ride went down, that eight-year-old girl was killed, which I feel, quite sad about. But the great thing of all is that my cousin lived and was not hurt. So that's another of my experiences there. And nobody's come online. Well, if you see this later, you might have some questions. So if you do have any questions, just put them down there below, and I'll answer them for you. Who have we got on here? Who's on here at the moment? Let's have a look. Oh, I got a message. I'm still learning how to use this, all right? Here we are. Hello. Oh, okay. Not there. Nothing there. All right, then. So let's see. I have to try and get this screen into full screen. I'm a bit of a learner when it comes to the YouTube. Having a cup of tea too. Sorry. All right. Now, there was a few other recent experiences that occurred to me due to the fact that I work in a hospital. Now, I can't talk about the name of the hospital. I can't talk about the patient names. I can't talk about anything like that. But I can say that it's been my experience that since I am alert to spirits, that they do follow me home. And that is why I wear crystal protection. I've got an obsidian. Oh, this is black tourmaline. So I've had a few experiences here in my room where I've been followed home from the hospital. And sometimes I don't know who it is. So I have to just tell them to move on very nicely. But recently, it's scare time. Are you ready? Recently, probably about 2 months ago, I was working in the hospital, and I do pass through what they call the palliative care ward sometimes. And in that ward, you've got a lot of very frail people who have terminal disease that are going to die. So what I did that day, I was working with a tea trolley. I was your tea lady. So coming along with the tea lady. Da, 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 da. Yep. Pulled up to the door with the trolley and the tea and the coffee and everything. Outside the door, and on the door is do not enter, because every time a person dies, the nurses put a sign on the door that says do not enter. So I stood outside, and the door is open and probably, about that much, and there's a sign. I sort of peeked in, and this younger girl comes out in the crack, nods her head like this. I don't know who it was, but I think it was a male patient, and passed away. Anyway, so I went, okay, and I said, oh, sorry, and I moved on. But when I came home that night, went about my usual thing, and then went to bed. I lay down in my bed, sleeping. The next thing you know, are you ready for the scare? Here it comes. So I'm lying asleep like this, and the next thing you know, I feel this enormous, attack, pounced on me like this. Like someone's trying to throttle me or something. And I wake up like, no, like this. No, get off me. And then again, like this. This time I was awake, and it was like this, grabbed me around the neck like this, lying there. And I'm like, no, leave me alone. And I got the feeling that it was that father of the daughter that somehow must have got upset that I had disturbed his family when he was, he'd only just passed, and his daughter had come out to speak to me. And I said, well, look, no, I can't help you. I'm sorry. You'll have to go. And after that day, I went and got the sage, and I burned sage right through the house, and I got a few more crystals in my room and things like that. These are scary things that sometimes happen. The things that go bump in the night. Did any of you ever have any experiences like that? Please put them in the comments below. I would love to hear your experiences. Yeah. Seems like I only have one person here. Who's on here tonight? Come on, speak up. Let's see. I'm still trying to work out how to get these comments. One person there watching. Come on. Who are you? That's my spooky story. Now I'm going to think of another one. Oh, yes. I'm going to tell you the story about my ex-husband's cousin and what he did to let him know that he had passed away. So I'm sort of going back to probably about 15 years ago now, or 14 years ago. No, it's got to be more than that. 24 years ago. Yeah, something like that. 24 years ago. So he found out, my ex-husband found out that his cousin had cancer. And he had cancer of the lungs, and he was in a major hospital in Adelaide, and he was pretty sick and in the hospital for probably about 2 to 3 months, something like that. And we'd already gone up and said goodbye, or I remember going up to the hospital with the whole family because he was very, very ill. So this was after that. I guess it was probably why we went up there was because he was so critical that he was going to die. The next couple of days later, my ex-husband, and we were still married at that time, had been told that he had to go up and say goodbye, but he was working and he couldn't get there. But he was happened to be driving past the hospital, and as he was driving past the hospital, the car broke down. And so he got out of the car and he said, oh, the car broke down. He came home and told me after all of this had happened. Creepy as hell. This car broke down outside the hospital, and he found out that the time that the car broke down was the time that his cousin passed away. And he said, and my ex-husband said, do you know, I think he was trying to tell me something. I think he was trying to tell me that he was passing on, but he said, stop the car. Now, isn't that a story? Of course, he probably had to go out. He had to start the car again and then he had to drive home because he didn't have RAA. He didn't have automobile insurance or anything, so he had to start the car and come home. I believe that spirits have ability to tinker with your electrics, just in that way that they can stop a car, turn a light off, turn a light on, things like that. Yeah. Okay. Nobody here? I'm not sure. Looks like there might be one person. Say who you are. Come on. Say hello. Hello. Come on. Put a comment there and say hello. I want to acknowledge you. Let's see. Right. Okay. All right. Here's another scary story involving electrics. Okay. Try and think. Okay. One of the nurses at the hospital told me that in this particular ward, in one particular ward, they have a problem with there's a call light inside the patient room, which you can see outside the door. When the patient switches it on at the bedside, the light appears on the outside of the room, and that's how the nurses know. And the nurses know that the patient wants something. So the nurse will be working at the workstation or at the office desk, and they'll get the call bell, and they'll see the light is switched on outside patient room. And this is the same for all of the rooms in the wards in the hospital. So I was up in a ward one time and doing a job, and the nurse and I were having a bit of a chat, and she said, "Do you know what? I think this ward is quite haunted." And I said, "Why do you think that?" And she said, "Because the call bells and the lights go on and off, particularly around." She pointed to the particular rooms. These ones tend to go on and off, and we go and see if there's anybody in there, but there's no one in there. So isn't that funny? Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who have your own experiences. Well, why don't you share them? Well, I'm still learning how to do this. I'm just going to have a little bit of a play and see what we can do here. I don't know how to put photos in or anything like that. If anyone wants to help me with this, hang on. Pop out chat participants. Well, let's have a look. Nope, I'm the only person on the chat. Let's see, I got one here. One there. Oh, no. All right. Well, I thought I'd tell you about the spin dragon anyway. That was good. Hope I get to download this video anyway afterwards. All right. How are you going out there anyway in this pandemic? I'm proudly living in a state of Australia where we do not have any cases of COVID-19 at this present. I'll just have a check of that, actually. I might be talking rubbish here. I don't know. But as far as I know, there's no cases. I'll just check the government website and I will let you know. Check it on my phone here. I think the South Australian government has managed it really well, because we had a bit of a stay-at-home campaign. Here we are. SA Health Coronavirus Update. Here we go. Here we are. I will tell you right away. Just a little bit of a break while I think of another story to tell you. Okay, so this is just totally on the 21st of July, 2020. There is no new cases today. In ICU, we've got no cases, and that's just brilliant. That's right here in Australia. There's 38 in ICU, but mostly of those would be in Sydney and Melbourne. There we go. All right. So well, I'm going to tell you about the Lady of the Lake. All right. So I don't know who the Lady of the Lake is. I had this holiday just recently at Lake Bonnie, and you can go over to my other videos and you can check the recent trip to Lake Bonnie. And just one day, I walked up to the edge of the lake, and I just had this feeling that this woman had drowned in the lake, and I never checked it because I didn't have time. I was on holiday, but we're going to check now. Okay, so let's have a look. Woman, let's do a Google and let's see if I'm right, because I was at the ramp in the caravan park. Woman drowns. I didn't do this before at Lake. So I went up to the I'm trying to tap in when I'm telling you this. I'm trying to tap into how I'm feeling about this. So I walked up to the edge of the lake at the ramp, and I felt that a woman had drowned at the lake, and I wanted to get my spirit box out, but I didn't end up getting my spirit box out because I was just involved in so many other things. But I actually knew about this. I had this feeling and this knowledge before I came to Lake Bonnie, that there was, and I mentioned it to my friend, and I said, I wonder who the Lady of the Lake is. And she said, what are you talking about, Michelle? And I said, well, there's a lady who drowned in the lake. So I've got it here on Google, and it says woman drowns. You can't see because it's too bright, but it says woman drowns at Lake Bonnie. And we're going to hit a search now. We're going to find out who this woman was, because I just know. Nope. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Oh, so for swearing, it's terrible, isn't it? Drowns at Lake Bonnie. Okay. Don't have. Still looking. I don't know what this is all about. Anyway, there is a few mentions here. I'm just Googling that accident. First of all was mentioned on Lake Bonny on the 14th of October 1952. 3 drown after rescue bid. Right. I'm going to open that one up. We're going to have a look. Lady of the Lake. Not sure what that means, but there was a name I had. I'm just waiting until it's coming up. It's not coming up. Going on. Get that on. All right. Doesn't seem to be coming up. An article. 2 men and an 8-year-old boy drowned in Lake Bonny this morning when a skiff which they were fishing overturned. That's one thing. Hang on a minute. A 45 women killed in horror day on the road. A 45-year-old woman dies in a crash between a BMW and a car in the intersection. I don't know what that's all about. Yep. Yeah. And there's one here. Another one. Another one. No. Okay. Well, don't know what that's all about. But anyway, it could have happened. And it's not on the internet before internet times. It's a strange thing. Anyway, don't know why I get this. Unless I was because of the boat overturning. Felt something there. Yeah. Anyway, trying to think what else I could tell you guys. All right. So, being at home has been okay, but I haven't been staying at home lately because we have 0 cases in Adelaide and we have been able to go out and move about and that sort of thing. But I still, because I'm a health worker, I do stay home a fair bit. Yeah. All right. So what's my next thing? Creepy stories. All right then. Okay. All right. So one time I went for lunch in a place called the Largs Hotel. Largs Bay is situated about, say, 13 kilometres northwest of the centre of Adelaide. And that particular hotel was built, let's just check on Google, I think it was in 1800. Let's say Largs Bay Hotel. Went there one time to have a look around because one of my favourite bands called Cold Chisel, back in the 80s, that's when they started to play. So I wanted to go and check it out. Yeah. And see what it was like. Turn this back on. Just turning this mobile back on so I can. Okay, here we are, and we're going to find out. Hotel history of Largs Pier Hotel. I'll try and find it. Wikipedia. Here we are. It opened in 1882, and just near there is was a very long pier, which used to be a place where the boats would pull up and cargo was offloaded. So, according to the history, let's just have a look. Immigration, references. All right, it's not much in here about it, but there's a beautiful photo. Just put that there. The Largs Pier Hotel. There it is there. I'm going to try and show you the picture. Well, that's not going to work because you're looking the wrong way. Here we go. Oh, no. I'm still learning how to use these things. It's not easy. It's not easy when you don't know what you're doing here. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? It's back to front. But anyway, that's the Largs Pier Hotel. All right. So as you can imagine, back in the 1880s, there was a lot of ships that came in, and it says in Wikipedia that from 1882 till around 1892, the Largs Pier was the primary port of call for new Australians travelling from Europe. Many of these immigrants spent their first nights in Australia at the hotel. Right. Today it is a very let's let this go. Connection. Yeah, my connection. Okay, there we go. Connection again. All right. So you have a drink there. You can have lunch there. You can have dinner there. I had a piano bar there. And back in the 80s, as I said, Cold Chisel with Jimmy Barnes and the band would started their careers playing in that hotel until they got big and moved to Melbourne and Sydney. Hi there, say hello, make yourself known. I'm just going to put a message here for you. Hello. Hello. All right. So the Largs Pier Hotel, beautiful, magnificent Victorian building, fantastic staircase going up through the centre. It has about, I'm not sure how many floors, but I think it's about 5 floors or something like that. And the rooms inside are these Victorian style rooms, very large, huge, with the just like a bit like my ceiling there. Hello, see my ceiling there? Yes, the way they used to do that style of can't see my finger. There you go. I'm gonna point at it. I'm gonna point at it. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, there's my finger. There. See that? Do you see? That's my finger. Do you see that style of the beautiful plaster ceilings and wood everywhere, and the fireplaces everywhere in most rooms. So one day I went there and I had a tour around, and And the moment I walked in to the hotel, I felt there were spirits there. And the first thing I felt was a Victorian woman near the staircase, and the tour guide. I can't remember what he was saying, but we went upstairs to the I think it was the first floor of one of the rooms. Very big room. It was meant to be one of the grandest rooms that rock stars stayed in, and all this sort of thing. I walked in and some energy hit me, very heavy energy, and I had to walk out because I couldn't breathe. And I was like, oh, couldn't breathe because I saw a person hanging there. They'd hung themselves from the chandelier. There was this big chandelier up above the bed in the center of the room. And it was horrifying for me, and it was hard because it's kind of taxing on a person who feels these things. You don't expect these things to happen, but they do. It's not that it scares me. It's not that. It's just it's emotionally taxing when I know these things have happened and I feel these things. Yeah. So let me know in your comments below if you've ever had anything happen like that to you. Let's have a look. I don't know what's happened to my chat here. What's going on? What's this button here? It's too big. Yeah. Somebody listening there. Hi, whoever you are. I don't know. This person here up on the screen there. Don't know who you are. Anyway. Send feedback. Yeah, you send feedback. Go on. I want that to disappear. Yep. All right. Yeah, so sometimes things hit me like a brick wall. Spirits. I feel them. I sense them. And I also, I get the picture in my head of what's happened in my mind. I could be walking past somewhere and I'll get the picture of what's happened there, or I'll be driving somewhere and let's do a little scenario of me driving. So I'm driving, driving, Michelle. Yep. Here we go. Drove past a crash site and woof, in the back or in the car, there's a spirit. You know those little signs on the side of the road, the ones that are little cross signs or the little memorials and things like that. Driving, Michelle. Oof. Hello. Well, I'm really sorry that's happened to you. I would say something like that. I'd say, well, hello. I'm really sorry that's happened to you. I'm real sorry I can't help you because, I'm going somewhere and you need to go back to your family. We're having this little conversation in the car. I'm talking to the spirit. If anyone's ever watched Medium, the whole series of Medium, there's a bit of my life going on in there, except I'm not solving crimes. That's, yeah, whenever I watched that show, I was like, oh, yep, I've had that happen to me too. Yeah. one of these days I'm going to get my mum on here, and I'm going to get her to talk about a few experiences we've had together. Yeah, like some of the funny things, like we'd be walking somewhere together, and the next thing you know, I go off into some conversation with some ghost, or she'll be walking behind me or walking in front of me, and she'll go like, "Oh, are you talking to someone, Michelle?" "Oh, okay, no worries." Doesn't faze her. She's so used to it. Yeah. No, so any comments I want to put on there? Yo, what's going on with my thing here? Hidden icons. Oh. I've only just got this computer, so I'm still learning how to use it. I've come from XP up to Windows 8.1, and now I'm in Windows 10. And it does a lot of things. Yeah. Well, I guess if nobody's going to join me, I'm just going to leave this video for other people to watch when they want to watch it. I remember there's been a few times that I've told people things about their future and they wanted to know. For example, there was a lady at work, a very good friend of mine. She was telling me that her daughter was going to have a baby. And she goes, "Michelle, you know a lot of things, and I'm just wondering, can you tell me something about my future?" And I said, "Yes," I said, "I'm just going to go away now, and I'll see you tomorrow." So I had to go away and give it time. So I went away, and then I was sitting quietly, and I saw her with her grandson, and how much love she was having towards her grandson. At that time, she didn't have a grandson. So I went back to work the next day, and I said, she said, "Michelle, do you have anything to tell me?" And I said, "Yep." I said, "You're going to have the best relationship with your grandson. I can see it." And sure enough, her daughter had a son. So she's got a grandson now. Oh, yep, I did it. I don't know who's here, but I wish you'd just put your comment down there, because I don't know what's going on. What's this? Yep, and put a like or a subscribe on my adventures, and have a look at some of my other videos, please, and give them a like and subscribe. I've been doing a bit of traveling lately, and I've got stacks and stacks of my travels. Got some of them on here on these old DVDs, and I still have got another computer that takes DVDs, so I'm going to try and load them onto my YouTube soon. Some of the other trips I've taken to other parts of Australia, like Sydney and Melbourne. But for now, we've been doing a sort of like a haunted, scary story night, which I hope you have enjoyed. Or if this goes up to be watched later, I hope that you have enjoyed it. And I hope that you are doing well where you are, as we are. Well, that's all I have to say today. Any questions that you may have, or if you want to share any of your own stories, please do in the comments below. And that's all we have today to say. All right. Thank you for listening. I don't know what happened to my chat. I'm still learning why this did not happen. I don't have any chat there. All right. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Send feedback. No, what's this? Wait, I might press the wrong button. If I do, I'll see you another time. I don't know what that is. Oh, share it. Oh, we can't even share it on Insta. It's ridiculous. Oh, okay. I'm going to copy that. Yeah. Thank you. And I really enjoy telling my experiences and my stories to people. I've got so much of my life to share. But I'm trying to work out how I'm going to do that. How am I going to do that? One of the things I'm going to do in the future is to put down my strategies for getting out of depression and getting out of anxiety, because I've got some really good tips there. So if anybody's interested in that and wants to hear about that, just send me a message and let me know. All right? Take care wherever you are. Stay safe. Stay at home. And goodbye for now.